bevo.com.
One of the things you're known for is always being able to attract great talent to the Greg Dyke team. So is that one of the reasons why you've been so successful?
Oh, always. Always. When I joined Pearson a few years back, I said, look, and we were setting up Pearson TV, which is now Fremantle, a very big, successful international media company. I told Pearson, I said, well, it's not just me, there's me and someone else comes. And they said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, there's this other bloke who comes with me. And they said, well, what does he do? I said, well, he does the thinking. I said, well, what do you do? I said, I do the PR. And he said, well, why don't we just employ him? I said, doesn't work without the PR. But what you need around you is people you trust and people who complement you. I mean, I'm a big picture, big ideas, crap on detail. So what you want is, what I want around me is people who pick it up. And then, secondly, you want people who are prepared to challenge you, who say, that's completely wrong. And that was one of the things, that was one of the problems I had when I first went to the BBC. I mean, the BBC had been so scared of the Director General before me that, you know, almost anything you said, they did. And you say, well, I didn't want you to do it, I want you to discuss it. It might not be right, I don't know. There's no font of wisdom, you know, let's just throw it around and see what we discuss. The third thing is you want people who, I mean, I look back at the best people who work for me over the years are the ones who, when you sit there and have a problem, they go away and they come in the next day and they say, I've got a solution to that. Hear about this for an idea. Why don't we do it like that? They're the people you want. But you can only get that if you let them get on with it. So I've never wanted to do the detail. I've never wanted to go and do all that stuff, you know. So if you work for me, if we're having a good idea, yeah, okay, right, you go do it. But I do that with all my life. I mean, you know, with my family, you know. My accountant rang me up the other day and he said, you know, you said the other day, we sat down and he said, you do that. And I said to him, you do this and I'll do the rest. He said, yeah. I said, well, I've been through it all. There is no rest. He said, you gave it all to me. I said, that's life. That's life. I mean, you know, so I've always wanted, not that I want them to, but you've got to let people just get on with it. It's the last thing they want. What drives them nuts is constantly you changing your mind, you're doing this, you're doing that. In the end, make a decision. Make a decision. Could be the right one or the wrong one, but make a decision. And don't keep analysing it to death, because actually the one thing that kills good ideas in the end is boredom.
It's interesting you said it. So delegation is one of the, apart from hiring great talent and your natural charisma, I know you don't.
Well, you get good talent. You get good talent if you let them get on with it.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of people who worked with me over many years in different places, and there's others you pick up. I mean, it was interesting, my time at the BBC, what I was interested in the BBC was all what I thought were the innovative things we did came from people outside of the BBC culture. Not all, no, it's about unkind, not all, but most of the things came, there was a team of people who hadn't come from within the BBC. Which again was one of the lessons which was taught to me at Harvard all those years ago. It's much harder for people from within the culture to change the organisation.
Well, on the premise that you just don't know what you don't know?
It's a disadvantage going in, of course. I mean, one of the reasons my time at the BBC was limited, I think, was because I never understood the politics of it. I didn't even bother to understand the politics of it. Mate, you could get on and do things. But in the end, it catches up with you if you're not careful. The people who've been in an organisation all that stuff, they know the politics. They've lived with it. You haven't if you come from outside.
bevo.com